Hello everyone, welcome. This is my new Ganondorf Match Up Chart to celebrate hitting 10k subs on YouTube. So I appreciate everyone who has been supporting me for so long, and this, hopefully, you guys enjoy this content, and hopefully share your feedback once the video's done, and what matchups you disagree with or you agree with and everything. So yeah, let's have some fun. Alright, so first character we're going to start with is Banjo. Alright, so, look, I'll be perfectly honest, there isn't too many Banjos around to be versing. There's only one Banjo that I verse online, and he's by far the best Banjo that I know of. It's a bit hard to gauge because he's the only... When you only verse one good opponent of a character, you feel like, am I learning the matchup or am I learning the player? And I feel like with this guy, because he's got such strong habits, I feel like I'm sort of just beating the player, not really the character. But overall, I would probably say Banjo is only -1. And probably another thing that I probably should talk about is these right here. So obviously -3 is just unwinnable, complete garbage. It's like, 8-2. So this is generally 8-2, this is 7-3, this is 6-4, 50-50, and then in Ganondorf's favour. So yeah, so with Banjo, overall not an amazing character. I don't think I've seen Hika-chan versus that online Banjo before. Maybe I should look into that. But overall, I don't think they've played. And from my experience, like I said, I feel like I'm beating the player more than the character. Overall, neutral can be quite annoying because mainly egg. Egg can be a little bit annoying to get around. But outside of that, grenade is like good and bad simply because you can grab it yourself and use it for yourself. But the problem is it blows up relatively fast. So you pretty much grab it and just have to throw it back at him. So you can't really use it to the fullest, where Banjo can, do the downbeat, grab it himself, and then throw it at you and really pressure you that way. But overall, Ganondorf is just like slightly better with like neutral play outside of the two projectiles there. And then obviously, Banjo can somewhat struggle to kill. He can somewhat edge guard Ganondorf pretty well with back air. But overall, it's not too hard of a matchup. I feel like our range really helps us. And just Banjo's just sort of overall being a character sort of helps us. Alright, Bayo. So Bayo is quite an interesting one. So obviously, whenever I've done a matchup chart and I talked about Bayo, Bayo is quite straightforward in the sense of we had Litany and Rickles all those years ago beat the two best Bayos, but now we have Bloom coming up, and watching how Bloom plays Bayo, and I can only imagine how the top Ganondorfs would go against him. I think Bayo, like on paper, Bayo should absolutely body the shit out of us, but we do have a few wins, but they are really old, and I think the character overall and the player base has just gotten better. And there's also, what's the other guy? Rensley, he actually bet another Bayo as well. So, I'm going to say this is also -1, only because of the few wins that we've had. But I do think the matchup should overall be it could essentially be -2. But because we've got those couple of wins, I'm going to put it on -1. I think Bayo as a whole, her edge guarding and just combo game just sort of ruins Ganon, and she's also got a lot of burst range, just like with Ganondorf, but hers is probably overall better and more safer to go for. But yeah, it's probably mainly her edge guarding. Like, obviously Bayo has the massive problem of killing at, a reasonable percent, like 100, or you live up to over 200%. But I feel like because of Ganondorf's recovery, she's able to kill us a lot more consistently, so she gets a little bit of a buff there. Okay, Bowser. Obviously, Bowser is definitely a much better character than Ganondorf is. His overall speed, range, frame data, all that jazz. It's just the only thing we have is just because he's a heavy. Ganondorf does quite well against heavies because when we hit a heavy, we actually hit a heavy. Like, we actually get an advantage on them. So, Flame Choke being so potent against Bowser, When we hit him, he just gets absolutely belted. It's mainly just the neutral of Bowser. Like, once we hit Bowser is great, but getting that hit can be quite difficult just because of what Bowser can do. So obviously Bowser will probably want to shield a lot, do a lot of up Bs out of shields, which we can avoid by simply just spacing well. And then if he ever wants to, like, if you ever versus a Bowser that's highly heavily on up B out of shield, you can bait that shit out so easily. Like, you can easily just run up and flame choke him, and you get him. Or if you're in the air, you just simply land and what is it, empty land shield, and then he'll do up B out of shield, and then he freaking lags forever. You can do, I don't know if you can do F smash out of shield. You probably can, but it will probably be tight. But you can definitely do up smash out of shield. You can do air choke out of shield. You can do pretty much whatever you want. Hello, Leo. How you going? How you going, my friend? Yes, it is. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the content at the moment. So yeah, overall, it's just like Bowser wins neutral, but when we hit each other, it's like a slugfest. So as much as I want to say it's even, this one's still -2. Yeah, Bowser just sort of, he's just an overall better character. That's it. That's good to hear. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. You know, same old really. Work. Brought in anyone that knows this. If you've ever worked at a place, they brought in a new system, and the new system doesn't work. And we're into, this will be week 12, so 3 months in, and the system still doesn't work. So, not good. I'll tell you what, not good at all. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, things have been sort of up and down, but yeah, overall, doing quite well. Yeah, it does. Anyone that's worked at somewhere for like a couple of years and then they bring a new system in, everyone struggles. Like, it's just a consistent thing that just always happens. All right, Bowser Jr. All right, so this one's an interesting one. I'm just going to place Bowser Jr. in -2. All right, so I don't have too much experience with Bowser Jr. I have versed a couple, but they're not like amazing or anything. So it's quite hard to sort of judge where he sits. But going off of what Bowser Jr. can do, so he's mech. He's what is it called? Mecha. I don't know, whatever the toy is, whatever it's called. That can be overall like a little annoying to play around if the Bowser Jr. definitely knows what they're doing. The main thing is, it doesn't matter if you're a good Bowser Jr. or a bad Bowser Jr., when Bowser Jr. hits you, or at least throws you into the air, dealing with his up air alone is like super hard to get around. Because, not the clown cart, the little mecha thing that walks around, his little projectile. It's mainly his juggle game. Everything else seems to be okay. His forward air can be very annoying to deal with because it's this lingering disjoint. Yeah, the Mecha Koopa, yeah. His forward air can just be very tedious to verse. Just because it's such a good walling thing. He's got a killing jab. His forward smash is quite safe to just sort of throw out. Like, they're just mainly his strengths. But it's mainly a mixture of his up air just being so hard to get around once you're above him. But not only that, his edge guarding can just sort of body us. Like, it can be quite hard. Even when I'm versing the OK Bowser Juniors, those two factors do not change. I still get edge guarded and I still get juggled. Like, that just doesn't change. So yeah, it's mainly that, but the things that do help is Bowser Jr., if you hit Bowser Jr., you do more damage to him than the cart. I think Bowser Jr. takes 1.1 more %, where his cart takes like 0.85 or something like that. But yeah, just all round, just juggle game, edge guard just sucks. And then playing around his like forward air, his disjoint can be a bit annoying. And yeah, he's just, he's a decent character, but yeah, just his strengths seem to be escalated against us. Alright, we'll go with Byleth, but we'll go with the female one. Alright, so this matchup, I'm going to say -1. Now, some people might disagree with me on that one, but oh wait, no, I'll get the Byleth picture up. There we go, beautiful. So I'm gonna say Byleth is -1 simply because I actually do have some fair practice against decent Byleths. A couple of days ago, I versed this guy who is one of the best players in Australia. He actually secondaries Byleth, and I actually won 3-2 before they switched. But it was online, so you can't really say too much. And then obviously I've got that one set when I was going to tournaments against one of our best players in Vic. That is actually correct, Milky Leo. That's actually correct. Are you in Australia? Because like I don't feel like. Gotta say you free stock female Byleth that one time, right? Oh yeah, that match, yes. I played you a bit, yeah. Oh, okay, fair enough. Milky, wait, are you like a cloud? Maybe that's the Milky I'm thinking of. But yeah, I versed DMO. The first time I versed him, it was like a couple of months ago, and he doesn't use his tag. So I was actually busy while I was playing. I was doing my daily while I was playing him, and I'm like, oh, this bowler was actually pretty damn good. But I was busy, and because he didn't have the tag, I didn't know who it was, so I just sort of didn't play at full strength. I just sort of just did my thing, and then I typed his name in into Discord, and it said, yeah, it's DMO. I'm like, oh shit. So because he went into my thing 2 days ago, and I saw the tag, I'm like, wait, this sounds familiar. I typed it in, it was him. So I took him a lot more serious. Yeah, spicy. Yeah, that. Yeah. So I took him a lot more serious. Yeah. So that was actually a fun session. Like his secondaries, we went even, but then when he went Joker, I won one game out of like 15. But most of them, I would like to say most of them were actually, I got him down to the last stock. So I was actually happy. They were actually close games, but he kept on clutching it out. But yeah, once I get up to Joker, you gotta know how much I hate Joker. I think Joker's absolutely bullshit. I think it's Ganondorf's worst matchup, but yeah. But yeah, back to Byleth. So I have versed good Byleths before. So I versed them. I have versed that one on YouTube, Extra, who is one of the best one of the best players in Vic at the time. So I definitely know the matchup. It definitely doesn't feel It doesn't feel overbearing. It's like whatever Byleth does, it doesn't feel like, oh my god, that was so bullshit. Like you never get that. Oh my god, what do I do? It's just more. She's got range. I've got range. But I've got burst options. She doesn't, but she's got more range than me, so I got to like be smart with that. And if she does nair, because her short hop is so small, you can sort of just jab her out of it and just be like, stop doing that. You can just back it up, or you can nair it as well. So if the Byleth is like spamming nair, we can play around it, but obviously their reward is a lot greater. And then if they're just walling us out with their long range, then that's when you can like whiz kick, flame choke, dash attack. So we got plenty of tools to play around with. And then obviously edge guarding Byleth can be a bit of a swing or a miss, but Ganondorf is very good against Teva characters. So yeah, just overall, the matchup's not too overbearing, but yeah, she can definitely pull out some. She can just sort of really just body us in some situations, but you can definitely control it. It's not like Bowser Jr., where you're going to get juggled by Bowser Jr. every match. Like, there's no avoiding that. Where with Byleth, if you do the right burst options and do the right spacing, you can definitely play around her range because she's not that fast overall. Alright, Captain Falcon, easily -2. This matchup is complete bullshit. I verse so many Falcons online. Like, I sort of play online. I try and play it 2 to 3 times a week. I have my arena just open, and the most popular character I verse is Falcon, and Falcon online is just so annoying. Very tedious. But, yeah, Falcon just sort of does his thing, and yeah, if you look at, like, probably the best example is Fatality. Fatality makes Ganondorf vs Falcon look like -3, just because Falcon's just us, but faster and better. He combos us much better. He's crazy enough. Falcon can't really edge guard too well, But against Ganon, all he needs is a little love tap of the knee, and because it lingers for so long, that pops our recovery. Like, that's all you need. You just need one little tap of knee, and you pretty much die. I would pick Banjo -2. I hate that matchup. Hello, Sallow. Nice to meet you. Yeah, look, Banjo, I only put Banjo in -1 because he's overall not that, like, I don't have too much experience with Banjo, but the one Banjo that I verse, we go even, or I feel like I'm just being the player, so it's a bit hard. He's sort of -2, -1, but I want to put him in -1, maybe a little bit optimistic, because we don't want to see a landslide of all -3s. But yeah, like, if you're like, oh no, he's -3, and I put him at like even, then we're gonna have a bit of a, discussion about it. But yeah, if it's just like a little one, whatever, then yeah. But yeah, overall, Falcon just sort of bodies us. I think just look up Fatality versus any Ganondorf, and he just sort of wipes the floor with us. All right, Chrom. Chrom is a weird one because not many people play Chrom anymore. There's more Roys than Chrom. I don't have too much experience against good Chroms. There is a couple of Chroms that sort of come into my arena, but they're sort of just like swinging air, like most Chroms and Roys. So it's very hard to judge Chrom, I should say. But just going off of my pressure and my understanding of Chrom, I want to say he's between -2 or -1. I'm not 100% sure which one it is. It just feels like when Chrom gets momentum on you, good lord, it feels so hard to just deal with anything. I do think Chrom might be a little bit harder than Roy. Just because Roy has to get more closer to you, where Chrom can sort of play the walling out game a little bit. So, in saying that, I'm not going to say Chrom's probably -1. I'm probably just bad at the matchup. I feel like I just get overwhelmed by fast characters. Anyone that's like slower, I can deal with. But anyone that's just like rushing me down, I just sort of, especially if it's online, if someone's just swinging, it just feels very overwhelming. But yeah, Chrom overall, he can play the more spacing game. Cloud. Now, where do I put Cloud? Because we have good old lovely Milky in the chat, who has versed me a couple of times. Funny enough, Cloud stocks have definitely gone way up. I definitely verse a lot of Clouds. None of them scare me, though. None of them really worry me, where to the point where I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? All of them just sort of do the same thing. Don't really have to stress too much. Okay, I'm cornered. I got to worry about back air. Alright, I'm at 0. They're probably going to do back air to cross slash, or like forward air to cross slash. They don't really grab. They don't really know how to edge guard Ganondorf properly, because Cloud's sort of limited when it comes to like edge guarding, unless if he has limit. Cloud just overall doesn't feel too bullshit. Overall, you just got to really hone in. But again, I don't have that top experience. And then Cloud's recovery can just sort of let him down at points. So I reckon Cloud is very much like Chrom. Just -1. Alright, Corrin. Alright, now this one's interesting. I'll go with the female. Oh, jeez, okay. Yeah, I'll go with the female one. There we go. I play Ganon against other competitive Clouds. How does that go for you, my friend? I would love to know. Now, this one, people may disagree with me, but Corrin, -2. Corrin is -2. I feel like whenever I verse a Corrin, and they know what they're doing, and they're just playing, because I've versed a couple of decent Corrins. There's one Corrin online. They come in, and they absolutely refuse to approach. Like, they're allergic to approaching, and they just wall out the whole time. They're just throwing massive ass disjoint my way, and if they just play really safe like this person, they're not like running away completely. They're just like at my mid-range game. So they're always at like dash attack. So if I have a dash attack, they always jump back. So they're not running away. They're like just retreating. They're being at roll distance, and then when they feel like I'm going to do something, they jump back and do a forward air, or do a landing nair or something. And I also feel like landing against Corrin can just be quite difficult. And also, something that's also really important compared to the other characters. Pin, two framing is such a thing with Corrin, so you can't do a cheeky uppercut anymore, but even if you don't hold down, and you just go to the ledge, the pin two frames Ganon, and you just die, you just explode. And even though Corrin can't really edge guard us too well overall, I just feel like the two frame pin is such a threat. It forces you to like play by Corrin's rules, and then you mix that with her sheer range is just, it's mainly the neutral and the juggle game. That's it. It's like very much like Bowser Jr. It's like you're gonna get juggled, you're gonna get popped up, you're gonna be dealing with her range. It's just this constant war. If you verse a average Corrin, then they feel bad. Like it just feels fine. But if you feel a very safe Corrin that sort of knows the Ganondorf matchup, then yeah, it just feels very overwhelming. Most clouds don't know how to play well. You have to respect Ganon, especially ledge trapping. Easy to get reversals and edge guard him. Probably at high level it's easier, but Cloud Online, especially, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, Cloud sort of just feels like a moderate character. I feel like because of Spargo, I just feel like Spargo outplays a lot of people. He's not doing a lot of bullshit, he's just outplaying people. Sort of like when you watch Skyjay. Skyjay's just outplaying people. He's not playing a better character, he's just outplaying you. So yeah, but yeah, that could just be my opinion with Corrin. I've always thought Corrin just feels harder than most sword characters, just because of the sheer range. Now, you could argue, okay, Byleth compared to Corrin. The difference is, so probably the main thing is, when Byleth swings, it's either vertically or horizontal. Like, it's like, you think of Corrin's forward air, Byleth's forward air, it's just a big swipe this way. That's it. So you can jump over it. So, so Byleth has to worry about if you're going to short hop in, full hop in, or double jump in, and they got to swat you away. Where Corrin, because of their forward air, it's an arc. Their nair is an arc. So even if you short hop or double or even full hop, that just like that covers both. Where Byleth has to be a little bit more precise. They've got more range, but they need to be more precise on your vertical approaches. So with Corrin, if you choose to double jump in, Corrin can just up air you, and then you're just going to get juggled. So you're dealing with an arcing hitbox instead of a horizontal hitbox, if that makes sense. But they're about the same speed. It's just mainly about the arc. And then obviously Corrin's back air, really big move, and you could sort of argue that that's more horizontal, that has no arc. But the fact that she can do it, move away from you, that's just a pain in the ass to deal with overall. But Ganondorf can do like air choke out of shield and stuff against back air, because even though it pushes Corrin away, it does delay her from landing a little bit. So you can do that. So you can sort of play around it. But I feel like dealing with Corrin's range is worse than dealing with Byleth's range. I think Byleth a lot more committal with anything that's not fair and bare. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. So that's my opinion on that one. Shouldn't know. I'm gonna skip you. All right, we got to go with Diddy. Okay. I have talked to Major about this matchup a little bit because he loves it. He thinks it's fine. I don't verse any Diddies. Like, Diddy just doesn't exist. I versed one Diddy who sort of mucked around with Diddy, and I was winning, but it just felt hard, and I'm just like, this person hasn't been playing Diddy for that long, and I'm struggling a little bit. But I've never had really Diddy experience. Yeah, there was one Diddy that came in probably a year ago and just absolutely bodied me for 2 games and then left. And I was just like, okay, I need to figure out how to play. But 2 games wasn't enough for me to learn a matchup. So I'm tempted to put Diddy at -3, but I feel like Diddy isn't exactly Joker level. So I'm going to say Diddy... Oh, but is Diddy with Bowser Jr. though? Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, Diddy's almost -3. Almost -3 for me. Alright. Donkey Kong. Okay, now this one is very funny. So Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is just better than us at all things, and Donkey Kong is just like, he kills us a lot easier. He just grabs us, and if we don't know how to mash, we die. And even if we do know how to mash, we die. He's got a better... So when I do... So obviously you guys have seen my Mighty matchup knowledge videos, and I've done DK, and what to focus out for. Pretty much when we hit DK, he does as much to us as we do to him, but he kills us a lot more consistently. And his neutral is, like, overall a lot more safer than us, and he gets more consistent reward. The only thing is, has anyone seen DK, like Higa-chan or Gunyi versus DKs? They win. Like, they actually win. Like, they make DK look like an easy matchup, just because they play a grab game. They don't try and do dash attack, they don't try and do nair spam, they're just like, I'm gonna grab you. Like, that's all they're doing. And then when they grab DK, they do the Gunyi combo, which does like 68%, and then it's like, beautiful, now you're off stage, now I get to ledge trap you, and then they just do it. So they make the matchup seem... And these are even recent battles, but they are online, and hell, I'm gonna say it, DK gets hugely buffed online compared to Ganon. Like, come on now. People may say Ganondorf gets buffed online. Compared to DK, hell no. So yeah, DK's an interesting one, just going off of top level. I probably want to say... I think Higa-chan and all that has made me committed to saying it's -2. So, yeah, I'm going to go with them. Do I do Dr. Mario? Do I do Dr. Mario? Because, like, Dr. Mario... yeah, I'll do Dr. Mario. Alright, we'll do Dr. Mario. The doc is in. Alright, Dr. Mario. This shit is probably +1. I won't lie, it's probably +1 or even. But because we love everything, we're going to say +1. Alright? So, Dr. Mario is like Mario, but just, you know, simply worse. So overall, Pill can be quite annoying, but it also can be quite predictable. His recovery is very humorous. He probably has the worst recovery overall. In a sense of, like, I remember Verm was talking about recoveries. So there's recovery as, like, lengthwise, and then there's recovery as exploit-wise. So Little Mac has, like, a bad recovery, but it's actually quite hard to exploit, because side B's hitbox is quite big, and even his up B can be quite deceptive. For, like, protection-wise, Little Mac can sort of protect himself, and he also has a counter. So, Little Mac, you got to sort of play around a bit more. Dr. Mario just sort of dies. He can't go very far, and it's quite exploitable. Now, Ganondorf's actually does go quite far, but is the most exploitable recovery, because he can't Ganon side, because he dies first. He can't up B, because then he gets tech checked. Yeah, Ganondorf just sort of gets exploited the most. Once you know how to beat Ganondorf's recovery, he just dies. But as for, like, range, Ganondorf can make it back, where Dr. Mario can't. So Dr. Mario has probably has the worst matchup out of worst recovery out of everyone. Oh, hello. Hello, Sallow. I love cruel matchup. Yes, King K. Rool. That's fair enough. But yeah, so overall, he's just like a lesser Mario. He could be even or +1, depending on how you want to look at it. I just think overall, Ganondorf's range, like his nair, can just sort of really wall out Dr. Mario. And the fact that nair just beats pills. And Dr. Mario's advantage state isn't too scary. So yeah, I just feel like where Dr. Mario excels, Ganondorf really doesn't really give a shit, because he's got range. And they're both slow. So if Ganondorf didn't have range, then Dr. Mario would probably win. But because Ganondorf does have range, yeah. So that's probably where I sit with that one. Duck Hunt Dog. Alright. Hello, Regi. How you going, my friend? Hopefully I said your name right. How's everyone going? Hopefully you all enjoying the content at the moment. Duck Hunt Dog. I have Zero experience against this matchup. I don't even think this character exists anywhere, offline or online. All I know is that it's exceptionally difficult. I have versed one Duck Hunt dog main, and they were okay, and I was like winning. There's a few in Sydney. Okay. Whenever I come across it, I don't know what I'm doing in this matchup. All I know is I can't do anything in neutral. Even if I figure out their like flowchart, because I'm so not used to versing Duck Hunt, I have no idea what I'm doing. So just on that, I'm gonna say -2. I just feel like every projectile Duck Hunt has is like just a perfect counter to Ganondorf. The can's annoying. It's frame 1. Yeah, he's just not impossible to beat. He could almost be, because neutral's that shit. But yeah, he's just sort of, you know. Alright, yeah. Sadly, not too much to say about Duck Hunt, because I just feel like neutral is just that bad. You just can't do much in neutral. That's it. What do we have? We have Falco. Okay, so now this one is an easy -2. Not a -3, -2, because he's overall slow. His advantage state is bonkers. We have seen that Japanese, or whoever, that MASA, I don't know if it's just Masa. Oh, here we go. What's happened here? What's this? Hi, I want to offer promotion on your channel. Decline, you bloody stupid bastard. Yeah, so I've seen him versus Gunyi and Hikachan, and he just shuts them down. Like, he plays the matchup really well. He abuses Falco's jump height exceptionally well. He just sort of gets the lead, and then it's just game over. So as soon as Falco gets the lead, it's -3. But if you get the lead, then it's even. So overall, it's much easier for Falco to get the lead and then hold the lead, because you make one mistake and you're just done. And because Ganondorf wants to jump a lot, Falco just eats that shit alive with up tilt. He's just like, oh, you're jumping? Up tilt. So then Ganondorf can't do nair. He can't really jump in the air. So he has to rely on his grounded moves. But then his grounded moves loses to Falco's aerial moves. And even other moves as well. So you're sort of forced to play really, really safe to just not get hit. And if I'm not wrong, I did watch Rickles versus... What's that really good Falco? Oh, what's his name? I'm pretty sure it starts with T. I'm just going blank with his name. That was a landslide. That's it, yes. Tilde. That was a landslide. He just got whooped. And it was just, like, really embarrassing. So, but every Ganondorf just seems to get whooped by Falco. So, that's just sort of how it is. But we do sort of... When we hit Falco, we can sort of do some things. And he is light. But overall, Falco just has it so much easier. Fox. This one's an interesting one. I think Fox has had a very different move over the years, because I never thought I always thought Wolf was better than Fox. Like, I was one of those people. But then they buffed Fox. I don't know why they buffed him, but they buffed Fox's down air, and that shit made it link better, made it combo into freaking up smash. Now you don't just have to worry about nair on shield, you have to worry about freaking down air on shield. And even though there's a lot of landing lag, just the simple fact is that it's a multi-hit move, it has a landing hitbox, just makes it so much more annoying to deal with. At least before, you're like, oh, he's going to nair into up smash. Now you don't know what he's going to do. I think Fox... I'm going to put Fox as -2. You know what? I was tempted to put him at -1. Be positive. But I think, let's be honest, nah. Fox just sort of dominates. And anyone that brings up that set of bloody Light vs. Nairo, nah. Get that shit out of your head. That was freaking year 1 of Ultimate. So don't even mention that. And like I said, that was back then before Fox got even buffed. Yeah, Fox is just too quick. His frame data is just too crazy. His advantage state is bonkers. The only thing that has us, like... Oh, and that's the main thing between Falco and Fox. Falco can edgeguard us. He can run off and do forward air. Fox can't do that. So, do you say it? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stick with -2. I think the overall advantage state in neutral is just too hard. But, yeah, he's borderline. No, you know what? I'm doing it. Up it. I'm going to put Fox as -1. Just because Fox can't edge guard us. If he could edge guard us like Falco can, he's definitely -2. But because he can't, I'm going to say -1. I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, nah, that's bullshit. What are you talking about? We edge guard him like a crazy son of a bitch. He's very light. Yeah, I just feel like overall, I just feel like Falco has it a little bit better against us. All right, Greninja. All right. Unfortunately, I've only ever versed one Greninja online. He comes into my arena a fair amount. He's very light. Exactly. See, you got it. There you go. Thank you. I'm very humorous. I didn't mean to do that, but you know what? I'll take it. All right. So now we got Greninja. I only versed one Greninja on Wi-Fi, and they're just like the other person that I was talking about. They're allergic to approaching. Even if I'm on free stocks and they're on one, they refuse to approach. Again, I just feel like I'm beating the player, not the character. Greninja's weird because like neutral Greninja's quite simplistic. Overall, his frame data is a bit iffy, but he's very good on the ground. He's very, very good on the ground, where Ganondorf's sort of lackluster on the ground. So because Greninja can jump really high, so that means you have to commit to jumping with him with a full hop or a double jump. But then if they choose to stay grounded, Ganondorf can't nair like he wants to. Ganondorf can't really get close to Greninja in neutral. So I'm going to say Greninja is -2 just because he's probably slightly harder to hit than Fox. And he can sort of edge guard us. Like, if we go off too far, he just does up B and we get splurted away with his freaking hydro pump or whatever it is. So he's sort of like a little bit lesser Fox, but he can edge guard. So that puts him a little bit above Fox in difficulty, just because he can actually edge guard us. He's also got back air. He can throw out multiple back airs. He can sort of, he's just, yeah. I think it's mainly the edge guarding factor that sort of puts him above us. Alright, which hero should I pick? We'll go with this beautiful son of a bitch. That one. Alright, so as you guys know, unfortunately I haven't versed my friend in a very long time in the hero matchup, but I feel like I do understand the hero matchup quite well. Not only do I verse them, I've actually versed another hero who's like really good in Vic. He went online. All I can say is he shouldn't go online because that internet connection was garbage. But I understood what they were going for, what they were looking for, and all that stuff. I feel like Hero is a bit of a weird one just because Hero can sort of... Hero doesn't have many combos. So... Oh, you know who I'm talking about? Yeah, so Hero's an interesting one, because, like, if Hero has luck, if Hero has a hero game, then you just sort of get wiped. You just sort of get destroyed, and it's like, oh, no. But Hero doesn't have combos. He has annoying projectiles, and he has annoying range. But overall, you always sort of feel like you're in it if he doesn't pull out the bullshit hero factor. So I'm going to say Hero is -1. I used to think Hero was -2, just because I sucked against Hero. I didn't know how to deal with Heroes' range. And then I looked up his landing lag and all that shit. I'm like, wow, he has to commit like Byleth. And obviously the difference is he does have an arcing hitbox, like back air and forward air, and all that stuff. But overall, he doesn't really hit you and take you for a ride. You just got to avoid, like, Neutral B does a lot. Some of his spells does a lot. All that stuff, and I didn't know how to get around Accelerado, but then I'm like, wait a minute, it's time-based. I can just sort of run away from it and go from there. Don't get grabbed, and, you know, if they get Accelerado, now I know, I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm just going to call it Accelerate. It's like Accelerado or something. Like, they'll go for the cheesy, you know, the level 1 neutral B into, like, oh, you get hit into, like, back air and all that stuff. So I know to avoid that. So now I just sort of camp that shit out and just be like, oh, I'm gone. Um, you can camp out some of his like power-ups. So you just sort of understand that. When you're at the ledge, I know what to look out for. So like obviously if they do snooze, you don't give a shit about that. But if he does like flame thing, I don't know what it's called, the fire one, you get hit by that, so you got to be very cautious of that. Obviously, I don't know which one it is. Is it thwack or whack or whatever it is? Yeah, flame slash. That's it. One doesn't hit you, but one does. I'm pretty sure sizzle does hit our ledge hang. But yeah, you can sort of play around Hero a lot more, and the fact that we have burst options really, really helps us. Alright, Ice Climbers. Now, this one is very, very intriguing. This one. Now, I'm probably more on the positive side of Ice Climbers. I want to say Ice Climbers overall are just a lot better than us. They're just a better character. Rah, 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 rah. But I have versed a couple of... I'm going to put it in even. I might change it. Like I said, I want to be a little bit more positive. I do remember there's a top Ganon back in Smash 4. I don't think he does much ultimate. He got to verse Big D. And Big D's really freaking good. And this guy's like a retired Smash player who plays Ganondorf on the side. Well, plays Smash on the side, but he mains Ganondorf. And he versed Big D, and he's like, dude, Ice Climbers versus Ganon is -3. What do you do against that character? And I'm just sort of like, do you run up and up B the bastard? Do you poke him with jab? Do you poke him with down tilt? Are you just like avoiding the bullshit that makes Ice Climbers so good? He's like, no. I try to just hit the bastard. And I'm just like, well, of course you're gonna die. I feel like anyone that just mindlessly runs into Ice Climbers, you're probably going to get bodied. Where Ganondorf actually does have very good structure things. So, you can't do Flame Choke in this matchup. You'll get hit by the other person. You can do up B. Because if you do up B, while you're zapping one of the Ice Climbers, the up one can't do anything. So they're forced to shield, or they get zapped a little bit as well. And then that separates them very, very well. If Ice Climbers are just shielding all the time, yeah, you just run up and up B. Even if they are shielding, you can jab them, you can down tilt them. What the hell are they going to do? What, side B out of shield? You're safe. Like, they can't reach you. Like, I remember watching Higachan versing a online Ice Climbers. Now, I don't know if it was the really good Ice Climbers or if it was some random Ice Climbers, but he made the matchup look quite easy. Like, I'm pretty sure he won it quite easily. And yeah, he just sort of jabbed a lot. He just sort of like, okay, you can be in shield. I'll just jab you. And they couldn't really do that much. But obviously, if Ice Climbers get a hold of you, you just take a lot of shit. Up B out of shield when they try to side B you. You probably get hit. But even if they side B you can sort of see it coming. But yeah, you mainly just got to focus on, are they side being out of shield? No? Then okay. They probably want to, and here's the main thing that I always tell people, okay? I haven't versed the best Ice Climbers in a long time, but when I did, like 2 years ago, when they were still playing online, or when I was still playing Elite Smash, I versed them a lot. I would win. And I remember one guy, his name is actually Steve Guy now, but before Steve came out, he was mucking around with Ganon, and he actually got that Ice Climber. And I actually just told him, because he's like, oh my god, I found this guy, what do I do against Ice Climbers? And I actually said, run up and up B this bastard, he just relies on shielding. All this person does is they'll turn their back on you. So when you run up and try and grab him, you're always grabbing Nana. So then when you grab Nana, he jumps and back airs you. And then you get hit, and you're like, okay, that sucks. That's why you just run up and up B. And it's just like, that's it. And because this person solely relied on shielding, Steve Guy actually won by simply just up-being him. over and over again. I thought that was very funny. But again, that was like 2 years ago. That's whatever. But I've always gone with the jab, down tilt, up B mentality against ice climbers, and I don't struggle against ice climbers at all. Some ice climbers are really crazy when they grab me and I get hit because I make a little mistake, which can be very painful. But Ganondorf overall dominates the neutral. Trying to learn Peach, it isn't going well. Hello, my friend. Yeah, Peach is probably not. Peach is very hard in advance. And hello, Mini Pixel, my love and joy. How you going, my friend? Hopefully you're going well. So yeah, ice climbers. I just feel like you just need to be very, very disciplined in the matchup. Don't do anything dumb, or else you get eaten alive. Ice climbers is like a weird Kazuya. You just sort of poke them, and then they can't do anything. So I'm going off of that. Ice climbers could easily be -1, but I'm going with the even. I want to be a little bit more positive. Bro, I swear when I learn Peach combos, I'm gonna forget my Joker and Marth. Oh no. Ike. There are no Ikes anymore. There are no Ikes anymore. I only get this one Ike, and all he does is spam the freaking auto-cancel side B. That's it. That's all they're doing. I'm like, what are you... No, I'm not versing you anymore. Kick him out of my arena. Like, there's no Ikes anymore. And I feel like Ike's buff of up B was huge because now Ike can actually edgeguard us. If you ever verse an Ike that like grabs the ledge, let goes, and does a reverse up B and then lands on stage, you actually get bodied because you can't avoid that. Like, it's actually very, very hard to play around that. So overall, I remember Rickles used to say Ike was even, but then because of that buff, he puts him at -1. So I'm not going to put him as -1. I'm pretty sure Rickles and Raven King. I know Raven King plays more Joker now, but I'm pretty sure they've versed a couple of more times, and I think it's very, very close. I'm going well, friend. It has been a while. Glad to see you again streaming. I'm not a stream here because I'm celebrating 10,000 subscribers. I can't believe it still. And then next week I'll be doing a tier list of Ganondorf's move tier list. So look out for that next week. Alright, so not much to say about Ike. Ike is very straightforward, whatever it was and whatnot. Alright, Incineroar. Alright, now, I don't know if you guys saw, but Nairo got to verse Skyjay, and he was getting absolutely bopped by while he was playing Sephiroth and Palu. Then he pulls out the Ganon, and he wins the first 3 quite easily. Skyjay won the first to 10. Nairo didn't know they were playing their first to 10. So I won't bag that much. But that was like really freaking cool to see. And the matchup didn't seem too painful overall. I think Skyjay was probably just having more fun because it's like you got these 2 brawlers with no disjoint, no projectiles, like no bullshit, and it's just like, all right, we're just gonna slug it out. We both got command grabs, we both got reads. Let's just do it. So Incineroar, I'm just going to put Incineroar as -1, just because Incineroar is slightly better than Ganon in pretty much all aspects. The only thing Ganondorf has better than Incineroar is he's got Nair, which like carries his neutral. Where Incineroar doesn't really have a neutral tool that's like so dominated by it. He has side B, but you're not going to see the Incineroar just spam side B like Ganondorf spams Nair. So yeah, Incineroar's there. Inkling. Alright, Inkling. Where does this one fit? Inkling is very, very, very rough. I have versed the best Inkling in... Yeah, he can juggle better. So yeah, he's just... Yeah, because he can juggle us, that's probably the main thing I probably should say. Thank you very much, Mini. Yeah, when we're above Incineroar, we just sort of get juggled. Ganondorf can't really do that. So any character that can sort of juggle us, it's automatically, we just lose. So I have versed the best Inkling in Vic. It was like a year ago or whatever it was. I have versed other Inklings, just they're not as good as that player. I win those. So Inkling's just borderline... Inkling's like Diddy. Borderline -3, but I feel like we have slightly enough to not make it impossible. Hitting them is really hard. They can edge guard us like no tomorrow. I have to leave now. Goodbye, guys. Take care. Thank you very much, Reggie, for joining us. Thank you. Hopefully you have a lovely evening. So yeah, Inkling's just hard to hit overall. Hard to hit. Combo us. Back air is a menace. Yeah. Alright. Isabelle. I don't verse many Isabelles. And I feel like the character is just that bad. I want to say Isabelle just sort of bops us in advantage. I'm going to put Isabelle there. Just simply going off of Higa-chan versus Kept. I'm pretty sure Kept only went Villager. But that was like last hit game 3. And you got one of the best Isabelle / villagers around versus one of the best Ganondorfs around. And I completely agree with you, the Evil Satan. The matchup is just very annoying. But outside of that, it's just sort of... Yeah. If it weren't for Fishing Lane being shieldable, it would be -3. Yeah, look. The rod shenanigans when you're off stage is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, overall, just -1. I'm just strictly going off of Higa-chan versus Kept. Because he kept that so tight and you got both high level. Yeah, that's how it probably works. Oh, here we go. Joker. Yay. Round of applause for Joker. -3. This is the worst matchup in the game. You cannot convince me otherwise. I know a lot of people say, oh no, it's Pikachu. And then other people have turned around and said, no, it's Ganondorf versus Min Min. They're all really freaking bad matchups. So, how to explain Joker? 1, he's quick as hell. Like, he's just flat out quick as hell. You can't hit him. Like, I can hit Pikachu better than I can hit Joker. Joker's just too nimble. He doesn't have a disadvantage state. Like, he just does gun down. And even when you're trying to avoid it, he just lands and you have to hold that L. It's just like, okay. Yeah, versing okay Jokers, the matchup isn't too bullshit. So, like, I'll give an example. So, Rickles says Snake is probably Ganondorf's worst matchup. Now, I don't know if he still agrees with that. Maybe, maybe not. And he is basing off of level based. So, what I generally like to base this off of is you got the best Ganondorf versus the best of the character. How do they go head to head? Where Rickles likes to do low-level Ganondorf versus low-level Joker. Mid-level versus mid-level, top-level versus top-level. Like, he likes to do that sort of thing. So he's like, you can be the best Ganondorf in the world, but you can verse a mid-level Snake and still lose. Where if you're a top Ganondorf and you're versing a high-level Joker, you can beat the Joker. So that's where he's basing that off of. In that regard. Where with me, I base it off of same level. So if you've got like top Ganondorf versus top Joker, you just lose. Yeah, and if you watch that's the same Joker that doubled free-stocked Higa-chan. That guy bodied Gunyi and Higa-chan. Like, it was so bad. Like, Higa-chan didn't really get bodied in that offline tournament. Only person who bodied the shit out of him was the Joker player. Even the Min Min. He took a game off of the Min Min and actually went last hit. And it was really close. Like, really freaking close. But against the Joker, it was an absolute wash. I'm pretty sure game 1 was close. And then game 2 and 3, or whatever it was, it was just a landslide. It was a murder. I'm just like, wow, shit, we can't do anything. Because, like, not only can we not hit Joker and he's too fast and he has no disadvantage, he edge guards us like no tomorrow because of back air. And then out of everything, he has Arsene. And then we can't challenge Arsene. Arsene's hitboxes are too big. So, what do? Like, yeah, there's just, like, no answer. So, I've seen top-level Ganon versus top-level Joker, and it's a free stock. Like, it's not close. Even if Higa-chan got the lead, he still just freaking lost. Jigglypuff. Now, this is a great one. Thank you, Base Mage. -2. Jigglypuff was, like, used to be, like, even, -1. And then I watched Base Mage versus Rickles versus Verm versus Ray. He versed all the top Ganons. And he actually struggled the most against Rickles. Because Rickles wasn't scared to, like, throw out moves. And he has a really good recovery game as well. So that's where Jigglypuff shines. And then obviously you have, like, Rickles versus H-Box where, you know, they went, you know, a bit back and forth. But overall, you just die against this character. Like, this character can, like... And is that actually major? That is actually major. Everyone give a round of applause for Major. Let's go, our man. I'm giving you the privilege of top 3 Ganondorfs in the world. It goes Gunyi, Hikichan, and then you. Well done, my friend. I need to watch you more. But yes, round of applause for Major and everything that you've accomplished. I appreciate you. What would you think if Nair 2 landing can low profile characters make a big difference? It absolutely would. Because Ganondorf does Nair, and Nair 2 comes out, even Sweet Spot, and people just, like, don't give a shit. Like, they just run at you, and it's just like, what happened? Like, I actually had I didn't actually save the video, unfortunately, but there was this moment where Joker ran at me, and I did Nair 2, and he grabbed me out of Nair 2. My leg was out, and he just grabbed me. And I'm just like, this move is so ass sometimes. What the hell? But anyway. Jigglypuff combos into a grab, which then you do forward throw, which then you die. Like, you just die at the ledge. So, Base Mage is so good at comboing into grab, and then you're at the ledge, and then you just die. It's so hard to make it back from forward throw from Jigglypuff. So not only is Jigglypuff's neutral, like, slightly better, like, slightly even, that forward throw buff alone, mixed in with the combo game that they sort of help, like with the jab jabbed into grab, or like drill into grab, like that alone was just like freaking, yeah, it just made the matchup really freaking hard. Like, it's so much easier for Jigglypuff to body us than for us to body Jigglypuff. Kazuya. Alright, this son of a bitch. -1. Some people may disagree with this, but I'm going with it. I have versed, because Kazuya's super popular online. I have versed really good Kazuyas. I have versed bad Kazuyas. Kazuya is just so funny, because sort of like with Ice Climbers, you just sort of jab, down tilt. You got to be very cautious when to nair. I've also watched Hikichan versus other Kazuyas, and he wins. Kazuya is just very, very explosive. Very, very explosive. Like, you either get free stocked or you win. And exactly, Evil. I agree with that. And they both kill each other very easily. Yeah, Kazuya is just sort of there. He's very scary when he hits you. But outside of that, if you're just like with Ice Climbers, if you are very disciplined in what you're doing, the matchup isn't that bad, I don't think. It just feels really unfair, because the mistakes you make doesn't even feel like you're making mistakes. That's why you just got to be very, very disciplined in every single thing you do. Alright. I don't know how else to explain Kazuya. It's like, Flame Choke is great against Kazuya, Down Tilt and Jab is great against Kazuya. Be very, very weary about how you use Nair, because if you use Nair, then, you know, do it! And then you just die. So it's like, just don't get hit. Yeah, exactly. Ken. I used to verse the best Ken in Australia ages, but that was like 2-3 years ago now. Since then, Ken's just died. Like, Ken is just nowhere to be seen. It's like, why play Ken when you can play Kazuya or Terry? So, not much to say about Ken. He's just sort of... He's just quicker than Kazuya, but he has the Hadouken. Like, yeah, he's just -1. He's just sort of there. You can sort of do the same thing. You got to teach me the Banjo matchup sometime. I know it shouldn't be bad, but it's one of my worst personal matchups. That's fair enough, my friend. Like, me, I suck against Link, adult Link. I've gotten better at the matchup, but holy shit do I just... I feel like I just get hit by dumb shit, and I'm like, why is this working? So yeah, Ken -1. There's not much to say about Ken. If anyone wants to say anything about Ken, then let me know. Oh, okay. Someone has used a Ganon fact in Ultimate. Okay, what's the nice Ganon fact? Because I'm doing Ken, let's see if I can think of something. Is me Gunner? Oh, that's fair enough. There's not many me Gunners out there, I'll tell you what. What is an interesting fact against Ken? Oh, okay, you know what? This is one that's interesting. Ken, when Ken does up B recovery, know how he can sort of snipe you? And why is my camera so high? He can sort of snipe you, like poke you, I guess I should say. He can sort of, he sticks his arm up with the fire. So something you can do is, you're not even two-framing his recovery. You just do down smash 2, and you actually hit him. Same thing with Ryu. You just hit them because their hand sticks up above the ledge for a frame, and then they grab the ledge. So you can actually two-frame Ken with down smash 2, but not two frame where you do it off the stage. Just say this is the stage. You don't do it here. You don't throw out the hitbox here at the ledge. You throw it here. If that makes sense. You throw it there because his hand sticks up here. So you do it there, and then you hit him and he dies. That's the only thing I can think of that's very interesting about Ken. I was going to be like, oh yeah, if Ken takes away from Flame Choke, you can down tilt him. Nah, we got to make it more interesting. So yeah, Ken's not that bad. Alright, King DDD. -2. I know some people, I got to head out, but I got to be sure to check out how the chart is looking later. Thank you very much for tuning in, Major. And you'll be on my YouTube channel because this will be going up tonight. Well, hopefully will be coming up tonight. So yeah, remember to say hello to everyone in the YouTube world as well. So yeah, King DDD. I've always thought this matchup is the worst heavy. He edge guards us just too well. His ledge trapping is quite hard. Yeah, he just sort of, his range is annoying. He can just sort of do things, and I feel like when you verse a bad DK, comparing a bad, because it's usually, people generally say DK might be worse than King DDD, and then other people say King DDD is worse. I say King DDD is worse, just because his edge guarding just bops the shit out of us. Where I feel like with DK, when you verse like bad DKs, they always just go for they either dash attack too much or grab too much, and that's easy to avoid. Where with King Dedede, you just get edge guarded. Even if they're really bad, you just get edge guarded, because how do you avoid forward air? I don't know how you avoid forward air. You just sort of, that's sort of it. So yeah, there's not much to say about King Dedede overall. He's also got a really broken tech roll as well. So like Flame Choke is pretty useless against him. I know I've seen Verm versus like King Dedede's, and Verm's probably the best against King Dedede, and he makes the matchup seem like relatively fine. I just think overall King Dedede just sort of does too much. You avoid DK fair in your recent video with both down smash and down tilt. Yes, I did. Where I feel like, yeah, I just feel like DK at least has to get close to you. King Dedede can run away and then wall you out with his Gordo and his hammer. That's it. And then his edge guarding is just too godty. King K Rool, -1. Now I would like to say King K Rool is even. Actually, is he even? King K Rool is like between even or -1. You know what? Because we're going with positivity, we're going with even. We're going to go with even. King K Rool, his stuff just sort of doesn't work against Ganon. Like, if he ever does crown, you just shield it and do air choke out of shield. And then when you're geeing up, because King K Rool is so fat when the crown is coming back, King K Rool grabs it with his toe before it hits Ganon. Like, that alone is so freaking good. King K Rool's edge guarding could be really, really broken with like Nair. But it's actually not that bad. Yeah, the belly armor made it -1. Yeah. But I'm going to go with even, because yeah, he could easily go into even or -1. His edge guarding is very good with Nair, because you just sort of get bopped. But the problem is, what I've been doing a lot more against King K. Rool's, if I know I'm dead, and I feel like the King K. Rool is just going to run off and nair me, I just go really low, and then wait for the nair to finish, then I up B him. We also edge guard King K. Rool really easily. We can just spam reverse up B, like grab the ledge, let go, reverse up B. We can back air him. We can even Ganon side if we got a lot of things. What am I trying to say? When we got a stock lead. So we've got all these options. Like, we've got a lot of options against King K. Rool. And I feel like King K. Rool's advantage state doesn't quite escalate as much as, like, when we hit... I feel like there's a difference. When we hit King K. Rool, it hurts. Where when King K. Rool hits us, it doesn't really hurt too much. It's more so that King K. Rool sort of controls the tempo of neutral. Yeah, he does have super shield attacks. Kirby! Alright, Kirby. Damn it, do I be controversial? No, you know what? I won't up it. Kirby is even. So, the thing about Kirby is, like I said in my Mighty Matchup Knowledge video, because I only did it for like, I think I did it like 4 days ago, and I did Kirby, or might have been a week ago. Kirby is a lame as hell character. Like, he just sits there and does nothing, and waits for you to commit to something. So don't commit. What is he going to do? It is one of the most boring, lamest matchups there is. And if the Kirby just... Look, Kirby gets bodied by Flame Choke. And the fact that Kirby can't crouch under Flame Choke, both versions, is so hilarious to me. That's what makes it even. It's the sole fact that Flame Choke grabs his crouch, and Flame Choke being so strong against Kirby. If Kirby had King Dedede's roll, then yeah, he could just roll away, not get hit by anything, and be like, oh, well, cool. But he doesn't have that. He gets bodied to living hell and back from freaking getting flame choked. So, Kirby sort of... So if Kirby wants to play grounded and play really slow, you can run up to the bastard, flame choke him, force him to dash back or jump over you. And depending on what he does there, you get to muck around. So if he dashes back, let him corner himself, and now he has to deal with Ganondorf. You don't want that. If he jumps over Flame Choke, now he has to deal with Nair. Like, Kirby is very simplistic, and Flame Choke is such a strong attribute to have to condition Kirby to doing something he doesn't want to do. Now, obviously, like I said, Kirby is waiting for you to commit, and you could argue Flame Choke is a commitment move. It is. It's correct. But Kirby can't avoid it. He can't avoid it with his bullshit, with his crouch. And then if you don't want to commit, you run up to Kirby and you down tilt him. And then he shields. Alright, I'll run up next time and flame choke him. It's that sort of thing. It's just sort of down tilt and flame choke sort of really conditions Kirby. Or you run up and you do down tilt, and instead of shielding, he jumps. Okay. He likes to jump. Let me nair him. Like that sort of thing. I feel like Kirby's advantage state can be quite threatening. Offstage game for both characters suck. When Kirby's offstage against Ganondorf, oh my lord. Like, he's multi-jumps don't go anywhere. He doesn't have any airspeed. Like, he either goes really high or really low. That's it. And Ganondorf can deal with both of them relatively easily. And then when Ganondorf is offstage, even though Kirby's down air is really, really hard to avoid, it doesn't kill you straight up. So if you're just smart and you just up B straight into Kirby down air and you're at like 50%, you can double jump back and like double jump and then up B and make it back and be like, beautiful. Easy work. So yeah, Kirby is just like, again, you just got to be very disciplined. Alright, Adult Link. Now, this is coming from me, -2. He's got disjoint. He hits as hard as Ganon. Like, I don't know why they decided, yep, you know what? Let's make Link hit as hard as Ganon. That's completely fine. No one will complain about that. Yeah, bullshit. His boomerang is really safe. Like, why the hell is his boomerang so safe? His bomb isn't too exceptional, but if Link ever has the bomb in his hand, you know he's going to shield. Because if you do one thing dumb, he's going to do the friggin' footstool bomb shit to you. And then combo you into friggin' bomb into down air, and then you die at any percent. So, Yeah, and then you have to deal with Link's Nair, and it's like, how do I deal with Link's Nair? You don't deal with it. You just sort of have to respect it. So Link overall, absolutely broken in my mind. Um, young Link. That's clearly Little Mac. Come on now. Little Mac. I'm gonna say even. Yes, neutral is an absolute pain, but hitting Link is fine. And then Link has the stupid bomb recovery. As sometimes you kill him and then he comes back and you're just like, oh my god. I'm gonna say Little Mac is even. I would go as far to say -1. But I feel like he's not like Kazuya level. I feel like Little Mac is a little bit more tamed. So know how I said Little Mac's recovery? He's got like counter. You just up B that shit. Boom. You just don't deal with that. Boom. Bang. Down air is super good against Little Mac just because if he mucks up, like he gets bodied. His overall speed, his tilts, all of that is just so hard. You can't use Nair, that's one of the big problems. So you have to focus on like jab, dash attack, flame choke. But because of his speed, it makes it really awkward. The moment you realize that when Link throws his bomb away from you to bait, the matchup gets much better. I'm not quite... I think I read that. I might have read that wrong. But anyway... Oh, wait. The moment you realize when Link throws his boomerang away from you to bait the, I don't know, MU, gets much better, in my opinion. When Link throws the boomerang away, it's not too horrible to verse. It's like, it's not as good as Cross when someone throws Cross the other way. But anyway, yeah, so Little Mac, just the only thing that, like, really helps us is that, like, actually, you know what? Nah, I'm not comfortable with that. Little Mac's -1. I feel a lot better. Like I can't be that positive to say, yeah, Little Mac's even. Nah. Little Mac's speed alone and him being small, so we can't spam Nair on him. Nah. And because he is so quick, he's not like Kirby or even though Kirby and Ice Climbers have like such an advantage, we can't really throw anything out against Little Mac that's like super safe without being like whiff punished. Lucario. There's no Lucarios. And I know that Ganondorf kills Lucario and whatnot, but I just don't know Lucario too much, but I'm not going to go off of what most people say. I'm not going to go with even. It's just that when you understand that bait, it gets easier and the links have to tendency to fumble when you get through that bait. Yeah, that's fair enough. So not much to say. I don't think there's much on this matchup out there. Lucario wants aura and Ganondorf can just sort of take that away. So, yeah, that's about it. Ganondorf's kill power really helps. Lucas. Alright, Lucas is -1. I did have the privilege to verse a really good Lucas. Unfortunately, they live in New Zealand and the connection isn't that great. So, it's not even their fault, it's just here to New Zealand is just bad. Every New Zealand person I verse on Wi-Fi, you can just instantly tell that it's not quite right and it's just like, ugh. So overall, Lucas generally corners himself with PK Fire. He doesn't really like approach. He has to retreat a lot. His range sort of holds him back. His recovery isn't too amazing. But when Lucas edge guards the living shit out of us. Like, I know how to get around Lucas doing up B. Like, you just up B into it without your double jump and you're really far away and then you jump over it and then you up B over it. So when I versed the Lucas, it was really close at the start because I was going around his edge guarding really, really well. But then he started adapting to that and then it became a lot harder. So, Ray Calm, there is no way Kazuya is just -1. -3, close to Joker at the least. Hello, Ray Calm. How are you going, my friend? Hopefully you're going well. I put Kazuya as -1 because you jab, you down tilt, him. You just got to be very cautious when to nair. Also, surprised you would give Ganon a +1 after this time saying no winning matchups. I'm being positive. That's all. Like, I'm being positive. I would, like, same with King K. Rool. Same with Ice Climbers. They're probably more -1 instead of even, but I'm being a little positive. I just want to be a little positive. Give Ganondorf a little bit of a sprinkle. Even though he is very, very bad. Yeah, the main thing about Kazuya, so I can explain this to you, Ray, is that we've got, like, our tilts going on. You just got to be very, very disciplined in the matchup. If you just run up and spam nair against Kazuya, you just get whooped. So you have to be a lot more grounded against Kazuya, and I just like to jab and down tilt. And if they're like dashing in back and forth and blah blah blah, flame choke the bastard, because that is actually a little bit of a commitment of it. And I have versed pretty good Kazuyas. Kazuya can, like, easily freestock us, because, like, that's just the nature of Kazuya. But I just feel like if you just be very strict with what you're doing, and also the fact that Kazuya can't simply just, like, double jump out of things to get out is a bit bad. So I just feel like Kazuya, when you hit Kazuya, his disadvantage is just not good enough. Isabelle worse than Kazuya is hard fathom. Kazuya's electric and hard to DI. Def combos alone makes him harder or worse. Yeah, no, look, that's fair enough. Like I said, if we're just disciplined and not do anything too careless against it, then yeah. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Look, I haven't versed. I know that you verse riddles online, so obviously you have riddles experience. So yeah, so that's definitely fair enough, and I understand where you're coming from. So you would put him in -3. You just think unwinnable, just straight up can't do anything against him. Where I feel like our neutral is at least decent, and then our advantage state on him. That's fair enough. That's fine. And you have riddles experience, so that's all right. But I just wanna say -1. Because I do feel like people do underappreciate Ganondorf's. Anyone that's, like, slow on the ground and has to play grounded, Ganondorf has. This is when Ganondorf's jab and down tilt comes into things, because you can really play around slower characters and sort of wall them out with those moves without committing to, like, jumping in the air. But anyway, Lucina. All right, let's go with Lucina. Ooh. Oh, this one's a tough one. I actually think, you know what? I might have to put Lucina in -3. So the reason is her structure of her character is just so well-rounded. Her neutral is quite hard to deal with. She's got consistent disjoint. She edge guards us so easily. She can juggle us. She just has so much. Like, she's probably the easiest -3, just because if you're a better player, you'll probably beat Lucina. But I can only imagine versing, like, Proto. You would just not get in on it. Like, I just feel like Lucina is one of those matchups where at the top level, Lucina would be so hard to deal with. Like, so exceptionally hard to deal with. But at, like, mid or lower level, she would be fine to deal with. Because, like, I can deal with Lucina's quite fine. But Lucina overall is just like, nah. If a Lucina knows what they're doing, she just beats every aspect of Ganondorf while being extremely safe and everything. So yeah, Lucina is probably the easiest -3 to beat if it's not top level. If it's high level, you have a chance. But top level, you probably got no chance. Luigi. Oh, Luigi is so annoying. Luigi's just really freaking annoying. And Luigi's actually quite popular online too. So I verse all the spammy, I'm gonna grab your Luigis that only know how to zero death. Luigi's like -1. Like, you know what they're going for. You know what their baits are. He's just an overall And when Luigi, and the main thing about Luigi I find is because Luigi likes to do the down B, get off of me stuff. you get so punished for going for that option against Ganon. Like, you're like, oh my god, the Ganondorf's going to chase me, let me do down B. You get F smashed and die at 40. Like, not many characters can do that. But Ganondorf can. So that alone means he can't really do his get off me stuff. And then if he relies on Nair, we don't give a shit about Nair. We can parry that shit in certain situations, and it can be somewhat predictable and all that stuff. So Luigi is just... you can just die. For our approaches and run away with her speed in neutral. Yeah. So hopefully Lucina might be the most weirdest -3. But yeah, I'm just thinking at top level. Alright. Mario. Mario's a weird one. Mario's sort of like Kazuya, but he jumps more. So Mario is probably -1. Just like Dr. Mario, but he's got a lot more combos. He's just overall a lot more scarier than Dr. Mario. Neutral isn't too horrendous. We've got like maybe a slight advantage in neutral. It's just when you make that mistake against Mario, you just sort of get bopped. So Mario is like... I'm just trying to be more positive, so I do think -1 would be okay with Mario. Okay, anyway. I won't do Marth. I'll skip Marth. Just pretend Marth is like Lucina. Why not? Mega Man. -2? There isn't many Mega Mans anymore, unfortunately. I remember there used to be like 2 really good ones in Australia. One would give me trouble, and then the other one I would like win more times than not. So it just depends on their playstyle. I think Mega Man's neutral. Like, the pallets alone just makes it so difficult. He can edge guard us. He can juggle us with up air. Yeah, I just think, like, I don't know too much, and I don't think I've seen Mega Man vs. Ganondorf at top level, but I can only imagine Ganondorf trying to verse. Jabbing Mario is perfect height for his short hop up airs. Yeah. Yeah, any character that sort of short hops and there's still loads of the ground and Ganondorf can just jab it, that's so good. That's so good. But yeah, Mega Man, I just think in my head, if someone had to verse Kame, Mega Man, it would be quite hard, but I don't think it would be like -3 to the point that it's like impossible. Meta Knight. Alright. Meta Knight. Hopefully Ray's still here. Meta Knight's probably -3. I want to say -3. We sort of just get one touched and we die. The difference between Meta Knight and Kazuya is Kazuya's slow and his recovery exploitable and his disadvantage is quite bad. Where Meta Knight, he's going to run up, he's going to grab us, or he's going to dash attack us. And then he juggles us, and then if we get off stage, we die. Like, we just flat out die. There's nothing we can do. Yeah, like, Meta Knight is, like, really simple, but the amount of reads and sort of things we have to avoid is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it really is. Like, Meta Knight probably might be more -2. But I can only imagine, because I've versed decent Meta Knights and they give me some trouble. So if I'm versing the best Meta Knight, I can just imagine it being a wash. Just like, what happened? Like, what am I meant to do? Like, they will know their shit. And if they just wait for me to do something stupid, and we have to play the waiting game, yeah, I am being very positive. I can only imagine how bad it is. So, I'm going to go with -3. I'm going to go with -3. I could maybe go with -2. Because overall, just a bad character. But he's just good. Like, Meta Knight's advantages get so heavily escalated to, like, level 100 against Ganon. Mewtwo. No one plays this character. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna base off of Rickles, like years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, versing that one of the best Mewtwo's, and he was going. I think he won the first to 10. Mewtwo's also got Shadow Balls, edge guarding, like Mini Pixel has said. I honestly don't, and they're quite, and you know, Mewtwo's fast, but he's also very light. but he's also big. Minus, it's either -2 or -1. You know what? We'll go with positivity. We'll go with positivity here. Why not? Okay. Not too much to say. Edge guards hard to deal with. Shadow Ball's hard to deal with. But then Mewtwo's big. They're quick. They got really good tilts. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that one. Mii Brawler is like Mario, but slightly worse, but isn't too fast. I'm going to say -1. I just don't know Mii Brawler. I haven't versed many good Mii Brawlers. I haven't versed many Mii Brawlers, to be honest. So I have no idea about Mii Brawler. If anyone in the chat can help me with Mii Brawler, go right ahead. I would love to know what you think about Mii Brawler. I think Mii Brawler is probably just like there. Mii Gunner. Mii Gunner is probably -1. I mean -2. Dealing with anyone that's like so heavily based on projectiles is really hard. Mii Brawler has a couple of things that just like is really annoying. I versed the really annoying Sans Mii Brawlers and Mii Gunners, and I just sort of wipe them on the floor because they're all just like, yeah, I'm going to do that white thing that explodes on your shield and then gets me a free grab, and then they've got their little thing that you can kick back to them, and then they've got charge shot. So I think, like, yeah, they've just got too much going for them. They're just overall a projectile-based character that can legit just run away the whole time. And even though they're not very quick, they're rather heavy. Yeah, they're just very, very annoying. I don't know if they're, like, Isabelle level, but I just feel like maybe they're slightly, better. I don't know about Mii Brawler. I don't know about that one. Mii Swordsman. Okay, so I have versed... So, when I did compete, I have a positive 2-0 record against the best Mii Swords fighter. But obviously, that was so long ago. Then there's another Mii Brawler, Mii Sword... I'm getting all confused with all the Miis. Sword Fighter, there was another really good Sword Fighter that plays online. I versed that person... He was the Among Us Mii Sword Fighter, and I was actually winning majority of them. What the hell is this? Hi, I want to offer you, you bloody bastard. Get that shit going. Deny. Mii Brawler is weird because they're different moveset, blah, blah, blah. And thank you for banning, my guy. Yeah, -1. That seems about right. So Mii Sword Fighter is like, I don't know. The fact that they can sort of juggle us quite well, that's probably the only thing that sort of helps them. So I'm going to put him in here. -1. Hello. How are you? And again, congratulations. Thank you very much. Dooku Fan? Is that how you pronounce your name? Dooku Fan? Hopefully that's correct. Or I can just call you Mr. Fan. Yeah, so they're just like... They've got nothing, like, super special about them. But yeah, they've got disjoint. They've got an annoying projectile. Well, 2 annoying projectiles, I should say. And they're pretty good at juggling. So that juggling alone puts them in -1. Min Min. Alright. I don't think I have to explain this one. This is -3. How do you get in on Min Min? I don't know. How do you avoid not getting edge guarded? I don't know. How do you do anything against Min Min? I don't know. Oh, it's Dry Bowser Fan. Hello. But I changed my name a while back. I forgot to mention that. Oh, okay. Hello, Dry Bowser Fan. Okay, I'll call you Mr. Dry Bowser Fan. You must shield, then walk, not run. Yeah, so it's very... And having burst options is great. Being good against Teva recoveries is great. But I can only imagine any Ganondorf versus Proto Banham, you probably wouldn't even hit him once. That's it. Like, I can't imagine anyone doing anything against Proto Banham's Min Min. Game & Watch. Now, this is a very interesting one because I've got a lot of experience against Game & Watch. Not the best Game & Watchers in the world, but the fact that... Because, like, I'm like, oh my god, what do we do against Game & Watchers now? This move is so broken. Then I realized... Game & Watch's short hop is so low to the ground, we can just jab him. So any Game & Watch that wants to nair, jab. And that just shuts down him. He can juggle us like no tomorrow. He can grab us and juggle us. His nair can be quite difficult to get around if you get hit by it. I'm going to say he's going to be -2. Like, as much as I want to be positive and say -1, I'm going to say -2. Just because his advantage state's too good. Being at the ledge is too good. He's just got too much dumb shit about him that makes it any form of anything. So, yeah. Ness, if only our man, our saviour, Major was here, I'm going to say -1. Up it. Ness, like, bodies us in neutral, bodies us in hitboxes, but we beat him in edge guarding because we can get around Yo-Yo by simply uppercutting it. Even if he does PK Thunder, you just up B into it, you get launched up and you save your double jump, so then you can like either go back on stage or like if the Nest tries to follow you, you can double jump and then spike him. Like, I'm surprised DDD is -2. Ganondorf tend to do well against DDD in tournament. Who are you talking about? I would love to know who you're talking about, because I know that like Verm does really well against DDD, but I feel like DDD just overall is just like, nah. So yeah, mainly neutral, and he can juggle us quite well, but I feel like since Major bet Bestness, and I have seen Rickles beat Bestness, I would love to see, you know, Major or Rickles versus Gact. That would be really good to see. But I think Ness isn't too... Like, his hitboxes are really freaking dumb. He can mix up a lot. His down B movement's really good. But I feel like that's just a lot of fluff sometimes. Like, where you just sort of... Instead of... So, one of the best things I've ever read, and this is actually coming from a Vic player. He told new people, the best advice I can give you is you don't have to feel the need to punish every mistake or punish every move. And with Ness, I feel like that just 100% applies to that. 100% applies to that. Because Ness throws out so much bullshit. Like, he can throw out 2 aerials in a short hop. He can do a short hop fair and then double jump away, or like do down B movement. It's like, you don't have to punish every goddamn thing he does. Like, sometimes it's better to just look at what the Ness does. Oh, he likes to double jump and then shift his movement with down B. I'm going to try and punish that. Because if I hit him, he has to land without a double jump. And if I can get him off stage, he's forced to up B. And then he dies. So I feel like with Ness, you just don't try and punish everything he's trying to do, and just poke at him and you eventually get there. Pac-Man. Now, there is this Pac-Man. I don't know if the Cloud player is still here, because he's in Australia. He might know who I'm talking about. But I forget his name, unfortunately. Let's see if I can find it. I think it was... What was it? It was like the... No, he hasn't replied in a long time. So I'm not assuming he's not... Milky. I'm assuming Milky's not here anymore. But if you are, you might know which Pac-Man I'm talking about. He just doesn't approach. Just doesn't want to do anything. He knows his combos and he knows his like strings and whatnot. But Pac-Man's weird because like Pac-Man is like really good. I remember Naro bet Atomisk as well, but yeah, that was with funny things. Yeah. This guy just ran away, and he would do all the jab lock combos, and he would be like, "Oh, once I hit you, I just do like my fair to non-stop fair across the stage and edge guard you." So he had all of that, but the problem was every time I touched his shield, he would always do something out of shield, like most Pac-Mans want to do. And then I'm just like, "Oh well, I empty landed into shielding, and now you just did a rising fair, get up smashed." So, Pac-Man's a weird one. Pac-Man's a weird one. I want to say -1. Because I feel like we can deal with a lot of what Pac-Man's doing. Yeah, okay, we'll be positive. Put it here. Alright. Palutena. Okay, Palutena is just a very freaking good character. No, that's fine. That's okay. You can ask. You can ask away. You can ask any question that you like. Ray came in here. I don't even know if he's still here, but he's like, Kazuya's -3. What are you doing to a -1? I gave him an explanation, and then he might have dipped. Palutena is just a much better character than us. Yeah, it's like you have to be very. Again, she's sort of like Kazuya, but not to the crazy extent. The difference between her and Kazuya is she's so much easier to play neutral as than Kazuya is, because Kazuya actually has to get close, where Palutena doesn't essentially have to do that. Yeah, Palutena's for that simple fact, she's probably -2. We can up B out of shield against her rising nair cross-ups, or if she, like, depending on which way she likes to do it. She will just, like, combo us to bloody, across the whole stage, where it just ends up racking up. Yeah, and then she can play really annoying when she has the lead, and she can just, like, ledge trap us really well. She can edge guard us really well. Yeah, she's just very, very annoying. Peach. I think I've always put Peach in -1. Because Peach wants to float. And if she floats, she has to deal with Nair. And she's not the fastest when she's floating. Like, she's not, like, bouncing in and out like Jigglypuff. So, Peach is sort of forced to play a different way. Or jab, yes. She can also get jabbed. It's just depending on where she's floating. But her combo game is absolutely ridiculous. I feel like I think she's sort of like Kazuya. You just got to be very, very disciplined on when she's going to approach and everything. And the fact that she wants to be more aerial based and she has to deal with Nair really shuts down her game plan a lot. So I'm going to go with that one. Hopefully that explains it. Pichu. Pichu is probably -3. I know that may sound very odd because we can just, like, kill Pichu. But Pichu is exactly like Pikachu. They probably go hand in hand. So I probably don't even have to do Pichu, because I didn't do Dark Pit or Marth. So I'll just put Pichu over here. Yeah, so I'm going to say Pichu is -3. Same with Pikachu being -3. They're small, they're quick, they control neutral. We get off stage, we pretty much die. The only difference is Pichu explodes a lot more than Pikachu does. But yeah, overall, it's just... Pichu just has... The only difference is, I feel, is outside of Pichu getting, like, he just explodes, is Pikachu more so combos us into edge guard, which then we die. Where Pichu is so explosive, he sort of skips the edge guard part because he hits us so far away at low %. We sort of now have to, like, he has to cover like 2 options. So it's a 50-50 you're going to die. Where with Pikachu, you've got a lot more options, but Pikachu can just, like, cover them a lot better. So yeah, so Pikachu and Pichu, I don't think I have to go into it because most people will probably know. Yeah, you just have to, like, how do you verse their back airs? You can't. How do you verse their forward air? How do you verse any of their aerials? You can't, because it's all disjoint. How do you deal with their grounded options? You can't. How do you hit them? You can't. Like, there's just so much things to worry about. Olimar. I don't think I've ever seen this matchup, but yeah, Olimar is probably -2. Very annoying character. Very good character. I can't really say too much about Olimar. If you guys can let me know about Olimar. But I think Olimar is just too... like, the fact that Olimar gets rewarded for just running away. What more do you want? The plant. The plant is even. I used to verse my good old friend iDonut all the time, and I feel like I know this matchup quite well. The fact that you can do Flame Choke into jab is really big. The fact that you can do 2-frame down smash and he just dies is really big. You can obviously edge guard him many other ways. Olimar is +1, what the hell? If you can elaborate, that would be fantastic. Did you see gameplay videos pinned video in Ganon? Wait, what? Did you see gameplay videos pinned video in Ganon called LOL? No, I haven't. Is it like an Olimar getting bodied? When they're on you. That's not exactly true. If they're on your face, you don't hit it. A better move to do is down air. But I do understand what you're saying. Yeah, Piranha Plant just doesn't have much going for him. He's got ledge trapping. That's about it. Neutral is pretty lackluster. Oh, okay. Olimar runs into a... Okay, that does sound funny. Alright, Pit. Okay, Pit. I think I put Pit as even the last time I did this. So, I'm going to say -1. I think Pit overall... You can get around his edge guarding, but if you make one mistake, you just sort of die. I have versed Ray Z a couple of times, and I get absolutely shitted on by his Link, but his Pit, we were going even. And I think I said that last time. Pit's hitboxes really let him down. Yeah, he's just sort of... His arrows can be annoying for, like, edge guarding. Yeah, he's... Like, Pit on paper sounds like he should have a lot going for him. But when I was playing Ray Z, I think the problem that I had when I was versing with Ray Z, well, with what he was having, was Ray Z's a very... He conditions you to shield, and then he's very grab heavy once he does that. And he wasn't grabbing me with Link like he was with Pit, because Pit gets a lot more out of grabs than Link does. So I just short hop down at him or spot dodged his grabs. That was the main thing. And I was even getting around his edge guarding. But yeah, Pit's probably -1. Let's go with that. Pokemon Trainer. So this is going to be with all of them. This has to be with all the Pokemon all the time. Simple fact, you got Ivysaur. You freaking can't do anything with it. I think I usually put Pokemon Trainer as -2. But I'm going with -3 here. I'm doing it. I feel like, even though I haven't versed too many Pokemon trainers, I can only imagine versing the best Ivysaur, whatever that guy name is. He will just wipe the floor with us. Like, Ivysaur alone just bodies us. Squirtle isn't too bad to verse. And then Charizard is like wild to like challenge. Because you can either body them or they can body you. Just like any heavy. But I feel like Ivysaur alone just... From the very start, when the game first came out, Ivysaur was such a huge problem for Ganondorf. And even today, Ivysaur is still such a big problem. So, Ivysaur alone, -3. Alright. Aegis. I'm going to say -2. Oh, no, I want to keep the flow going. So, these aren't ranked in any order, by the way. Aegis is probably -2, strictly because, you know, I have seen Nairo versus Cosmos. And it just seems to work out fine. That could just be because Nairo knows Cosmos' playstyle so much. But, yeah, like, on paper, they should body the living shit out of us. I have versed a couple of really good Aegists. And again, I feel like I should be getting bodied more. But I'm like in it. And I feel like that's sort of the thing at the moment with Aegists, even in top level play. It's like, these guys should be doing a lot better, but they're not. They're playing such a broken character, they're just sort of not doing what they're meant to be doing, I guess. Maybe it's just the recovery thing, but it's just like... Yeah, that's it, I probably should say. Ridley. Where the hell do I put Ridley? Ridley is very weird. Oh, and my sub count went up. I was on 3, and now I'm on 4. Did I not get a message? Oh, dearie me. For anyone that actually did sub, thank you very much. Maybe it was you, Minnie, because I'm pretty sure maybe you resubbed. But yeah, that's very whoever did that, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Unfortunately, it didn't come up. Where do I put Ridley? Ridley's probably. I feel like Ridley's disadvantage is just too bad. Ridley and Ganon are like the same character, that they both want to play mid-range, but Ganondorf's got burst options, but Ridley is better at the mid-range game. So Ridley, like doing F-tilt, down tilt, just walling us out can be very tricky to deal with. But sort of like Byleth. Once you get in though, against Ridley, you're just having the most fun. So I'm going to say -1. I think I usually put him at -2, but I'm going to say -1 this time. Rob. Is Rob -3 or -2? Damn. I actually don't know. Because, like, I feel like people should be doing okay against Rob, but Rob's a menace. Oh, Jesus. Gave me a heart attack. Well, there we go. Okay, it actually does work. With the Prime, thank you very much. Oh, 1 month streak? Wait. They've subscribed for 7 months, currently on 1 month streak. That was loud. That actually gave me a heart attack. Holy shit. You probably saw me flying a mile. Thank you very much, Minnie. And thank you very much that it's the Prime. Thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. I would rather... Okay, you know what? Would I rather verse any of those -3 characters out of Rob? Outside of, like, Meta Knights, I would probably rather verse Rob. So I feel like Rob is probably -2. I feel like... You know what? I actually do need to move Meta Knight. Meta Knight does seem a bit odd up there. Because, like, even though he bodies the absolute shit out of us, I don't think he's as scary as, like, Min Min or Pikachu. I just can't verse Rob. Yeah, that's fair enough. Where would... He would be next to Meta Knight. I mean, there. Okay, I'll move Meta Knight out. He just looked a bit too odd up there. He really did. But yeah, Meta Knight's, like, borderline. Same with, like, Rob. Alright. Rob's tricky. Rob's just really tricky because, like, Rob can just, like... Also, Ridley, I have a lot of experience, a lot of trouble. You can't just get experience because... Yeah, there is very few of them. Yeah, exactly. Robin. Robin is, like, a bad character. That's it. Robin's, like... Sword... Whatever the electric one's called. That Nair bops the living shit out of us. Like, that shit's so bad. But I feel like just because Robin is just like a bad overall character, it's like -1. And I have a little bit of Robin experience. I remember versing one of the best Robins in Australia. I forget. I think her. I think it's a her. I'm not quite sure. Oh, and I also did male. Probably should change that. Let's be honest. Most people, I remember some people complaining about that because I always put the male versions up, so I'm not gonna do the female versions. Oh, your friend is really good with Robin. I think Robin is probably just -1. I think just yeah. I don't think so. Rosalina and Luma. Now, I know if you ask Verm, he says this matchup's unwinnable. It's just -3. And then other people say it's -1. I'm going to go in the middle. I'm going to say -2. So I versed a really good Rosalina, like maybe like 3 months ago. And it was a lot of fun. They played really defensive and whatnot. And they had a bit of habits that I just took care of. I just think versing any Rosalina that knows what they're doing, no, it's quite hard. So even though this guy was a good Rosalina, he was giving me trouble. So I can only imagine what a really good, like, DeBuzz's Rosalina would just mop the floor with me. Roy's -1. Oh, Jesus, what did I press? Oh, Jesus, there we go. Roy's -1. Roy's just very aggressive, and I'm not the best against rushdown characters, but I would probably think Crom's slightly harder than Roy, just because Roy has to get close. But yeah, there's not too much. Like, I remember Fatality saying Ganondorf does better against Roy than Falcon. So I'm going to stick with that mentality. Alright, Ryu, -2. Out of all the autocorrect characters, auto aim characters, Ryu's the hardest. That fireball destroys the living shit out of Ganon. Like, that move alone is just so freaking unfair. It's not even funny. I'm not even kidding. Like, Kazuya can keep his 0 to deaths. But Ryu, like, how do you, like, at least Kazuya has to get close to us and we have a chance. Ryu, nah, he can just be a little bitch the whole time and we have to deal with it and we're just, like, crying in the corner going, oh my god, what do we do against this? So, that alone, on top of, like, his semi-decent combo game, yeah, he just sort of does what he wants with that fireball and we just sort of have to hold it. Samus is -3. I know Rickles bet, like, I think a guy who plays Samus named Joker, but this is like years ago, like 3 years ago, and we're all like, how the hell did he do that? I feel like, but then back then, Samus was sort of like, in mid-tier. Now Samus is like better than ZSS, like she's almost top tier sort of level. So I feel like anyone who's like versing Quick or versing that other Siskwi, I think that's his name. I'm probably saying, Squee. I probably said that wrong, but yeah, that person's just gonna mop the floor with us. We're not gonna do anything. Like, what can we really say about Samus that actually give? Like, name anything that gives us any sort of benefit in the matchup. Like, what does Ganondorf have in that matchup? Like, she does homing missiles. We do whiz kick. We clank with it. Like, that's how shit that is. All right, we're gonna go with Sephiroth. Sephiroth is -2. His range is quite difficult. Just don't get hit. Yeah, and then how do you approach? Sephiroth is -2. Now, you could argue Sephiroth is sort of the same thing with, like, Byleth, but just not that good. The main difference between Byleth and Sephiroth is Sephiroth's fair offstage. How do we get around that? We can't. How do we recover against Sephiroth's forward air? We actually can't. There is no way around that. So, Sephiroth is just like Byleth. And then, once we get off stage, it's a different game. Because, like, Byleth can sort of edge guard us with Nair, or forward air. But, Sephiroth's forward air lingers. I'm going to actually have a look. Just give me one moment. Alright, let me go on the data. Ultimate frame data. Let's have a look. Sephiroth's forward air, I'm pretty sure lingers for like, I'm going to say 6 frames. I might be wrong. It might be more. Forward air. Yeah, okay, no, I'm right. It lingers for 6 frames. Where if I go to Byleth's forward air, active for 2. And back air is active for 6. So that shit's lingering, and it's just this wall. Like, how do you get around it? You actually can't. I remember versing the best Sephiroth in Australia online, and we were like even during the match, and then he would throw me off stage, and I'll just die because I'm just like, how do I get around this move? Because Sephiroth can, like, run off, fast fall forward air, double jump forward air, and then reverse up B. And then, how do we avoid 2 forward airs, plus an Octo Slash? Like, how do we avoid that shit? We can't. We can't avoid it. And then if he has wing, forward air, forward air, forward air, forward air. Like, we're not getting around that shit. Like, what the hell? Like, nah, that's not happening. Sheik. This one is so hard. So if we're going with absolute top level, so if we're going with Void, Zachray, and that other really good Sheik, -3. Sheik's frame data, she's just, I don't think I have to explain Sheik. I think everyone knows Sheik is just, Sheik's just really freaking hard. But obviously, online Sheik is like even. Because she can't do the crazy shit that you want to do. But offline Sheik at top level, nah, we're not coming back. We're just going to get smacked, and that's it. Like, bada bing. Shulk. Shulk's -2. He cheats too much. Let's be honest. His range is really annoying. And like I said, it's not just a poke. He's doing a whole swat when it comes to it, like with forward air and with nair. I did verse Kanaji's Shulk. I went 0-5 against it, but there was like, I think there was 2 games that was last hit and he just clutched it out. Major better Shulk. Who was the Shulk? But yeah, Shulk can go into like Shield Monado. He can, like, once being off stage, you just sort of die because forward air. How do you avoid forward air? So yeah, that's definitely a -2. This one's a -2 as well. Now we're just getting into the -2 territory. Belmonts. Their projectiles work against us. Like, that's the problem. They're sort of like Meta Knight tier. If their game plan works, it freaking works. If it doesn't work, they freaking get bodied. So their stuff works against us. They can just do things, and we just sort of struggle. The Shulk that fought Major didn't do any fair offstage very often, and that was in the clutch tournaments thing. Wow, that's very unfortunate. Yeah, we just sort of get ledge trapped to death. We don't really get edge guarded, but we have to avoid axe. I know that like Verm says like this matchup's not too bad. Because he plays a bit of Simon. I know Rensley does very well against Simon. Because his brother plays Simon, so whenever he versus a Belmont in tournament, he just sort of wins. And just beautiful. That's it. So yeah. Next character, Snake. I probably don't have to talk about Snake. Neutral is like okay. Overall is quite okay. It's like passable. But sadly, when you get hit, he has really strong base knockback. So even if you get hit at 20, you get hit quite far off stage. So then you have to deal with Nikita. And then you just die. Like, Nikita is -5. Well, -4 for Ganon. And then Snake is like, and then add Snake on top of that. Just the only matchup we have. Oh no, we have better frame data than some other characters, because Ganondorf. It's not that Ganondorf's frame data in the air is bad. Like, Nair is frame 7, up air is frame 8, back air is frame 10. It's -3 on shield. Like, data wise, Ganondorf doesn't struggle. It's the fact that he's big, he's slow, and his moves don't work. Like Nair. Nair just doesn't want to work. Okay. So now we're getting into the real nitty gritty of bullshit. Let's be honest. Alright. So Snake, like I said, it's just mainly Nikita. We can play around him, but he's sort of like with Palutena, but like worse. It's just so much easier for Snake to just kill us than it is for us to kill Snake. Sonic, -3. Like, I don't know if I put Sonic in -3 before, but Sonic has just gotten so much better in the last like year that it's just ridiculous. That it's just like so overwhelming, so bullshit. They can run away, they can attack us, they can just like, you have to play Sonic's game, and because you're playing Ganondorf, who's such a slow character, good luck hitting the bastard. The only redeeming factor, this is the only redeeming factor in the matchup, is if he does any form of spin dash, down B or side B, Flame Choke beats it. Because grab beats that move. It's like Wonder Wing. We beat that move. That's it. But you're not going to call out Sonic freaking spin dashing into you every time and you're like, oh, you did it. Instant reaction side B. Side B's too slow. If it was like, if Ganondorf's side B was like Bowser's, where it was like frame 6 or something, you could maybe get away with it. But even if you do it and you did it too early, and then the Sonic just does whatever they want. So Sonic just plays around us way too easy. Sora. I have played against Alistair, Sora. The last time I versed him, he was sort of bopping me way too easily. But the time before that, I was winning more times than not. I think I was just playing really badly against him, to be honest. You know how sometimes you just have those really bad days? Or I was playing like a little bit worse and he was just playing really well. So that sort of explains Sora, though. I feel like Sora can just sort of dominate and just sort of do what they want to do. Not much to say about Sora. So Sora has a really good combo game. He can edgeguard the living shit out of Ganondorf. He's lingering, stalling hitboxes is just like really annoying to deal with. So I'm going to say Sora is -2. It's just very, very awkward. Very, very awkward to verse Sora. Sora's also really floaty, which makes things a bit difficult. Yeah, he's not impossible by any means. Yeah, his neutral B is very annoying. Like, he can just be very annoying, or he can just swing his sword around a lot. Steve. Now, people might just want to say Steve's just -3 because he's the best character in the game. I'm giving Steve a -2. I think, personally, Ganondorf's jab, down tilt, nair, our range alone gets to really help us with Steve. Steve, if he builds a wall, we can do down tilt or jab, and then we can walk through it, so we have ways to deal with that. It's just that Steve's advantage state is just too stupid. He just hits us and dies. Like, we just sort of like, oh, we got hit with up tilt, okay. Like, he's like Falco. He's legit like Falco. He's slow, but he's got, like, you know... And the fact that you have to, like, be the one that's, you know, attacking him... Flame Choke is good against him, but overall, it's just like, oh my god, what the hell. Alright, Terry. Now this is probably my experience talking about Terry. Now, Ray would probably say he's -1. I want to say Terry is -2. Now, my reasoning for this is, he's sort of just Ganon, but better. Like, a lot better. Like, even though he doesn't have the bullshit like Kazuya, but the thing is, he's got massive burst option hitboxes. So, if he does any burst option, Ganondorf's hitboxes just lose to it. Like, we can't challenge it. So, the fact that he can out-burst option us because of better hitboxes and better frame data, that sucks. He's got a better recovery. He can... The only thing he sort of doesn't have is that he can't essentially edgeguard us too well. That's it. But outside of everything else, his hitboxes are too big. He's got Go, which is absolutely bullshit. Yeah, -2. I just think Terry is just... You can't really poke him either, and that's the thing. Because he's got burst options, if I run up and I'm like, oh, he's gonna shield, let me down tilt you, he just side B's you and you get hit. Or it's like, oh, he's going to jump and fair, so I'm going to nair. He does side B and he wins. Or he does freaking fair, he wins. Or he does F tilt because it's a freaking sword move for some reason. So yeah, he just out hitboxes us way too much. Toon Link, I have no freaking experience against Toon Link. I versed one good Toon Link, and that was it. Like, I think Toon Link is safe to say -1. I don't know. Does anyone want to argue with like Toon Link? Does anyone have any debates with Toon Link? Does anyone have any input? Because me personally, I think he's just the worst Link. He's not too fast, he's not too slow, he's not too strong. Yeah. Also, I'm going to move Isabelle out of here and put Villager here. Now, I am mainly... Oh, Toon Link's gone blue. Toon Link's gone blue. Okay. There we... Oh, God, he's still blue. Oh, God, what's happened? Oh my god, no, go back. Oh, wait, no, wait, is this... Oh, thank god, I thought I actually just ruined it. There we go. Oh, he's still blue! Oh, there we go, we fixed it, okay. I thought everything was ruined, we lost everything. Anyway, Villager. I am strictly going off of Villager, so kept versing... Actually, you know what, up it. No, I'm not doing that. -2. -2. Because I just had that brainwave of Gunny back in Smash 4, bet kept. And I know this is Smash 4, but then Renai came out with Villager and absolutely wiped the floor with him. So even though, look, I love Kep. Kep is great. But I think, yeah, I think just Hikachan's probably just a better player than Kept. And that's why it was so close. So I'm going to go with that. So Villagers is just very annoying, very good range, can edge guard us to hell. What more can we say? Wario. Wario is like Mario. But is Wario harder than Mario? Oh, do I say Wario's -2 or do I say -1? I'm gonna say -1. I'm gonna say -1 because I do know that like if a Ganondorf had to verse Gluttony, I think that would be okay. They would do okay against them. Yeah, Wario like he wants to jump a lot, so he has to deal with Nair. He doesn't have like massive ass hitboxes. He can edge guard us quite well. Like, yeah, Wario's like borderline -1, -2. All right, Wii Fit. I'm probably gonna say Wii Fit's -1. Wii Fit's like a decent character, but like if you just get around her runaway game and you just got to play really, 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 really slow, like sort of like Kirby, you can do all right against her. So yeah, I don't have too much experience against Wii Fit. I know I versed this one Wii Fit in a tournament, Rambo, but I think I was just playing a bit off. I wasn't playing. Whenever I play in tournament, I play a bit off. So yeah. But I have versed a couple of Wii Fits and I just beat them, so they're not too challenging. Like their hitboxes let them down. Their edge guarding against us isn't too crazy, but yeah, they're just sort of there as a character. Wolf. Wolf is probably the easiest space animal to verse. Just because he's slower. He's just slower, but his hitboxes are enormous. That's the only redeeming factor he has, is that his hitboxes beats Ganondorf hitboxes. And he's overall a better character, but he still has the same weaknesses as Fox and Falco, but he doesn't have the combo game as Fox and Falco. So, you're giving up combo game for hitboxes. So, Yoshi, I have no freaking idea where to put Yoshi. What the hell? Yoshi is... It's funny that Wolf Bear beats our Fair. Look, Wolf's Bear beats our Nair too. Like, his Fair is also huge. Like, yeah, Ganondorf's Fair has no hitbox on it. Like, it's right at his knuckle. So, he has no disjoint on it whatsoever. Yoshi wants to jump a lot. I've versed a couple of good Yoshis here, and I go and I beat him more times than not. I want to maybe say Yoshi might be -2. Yoshi might have to be -2 because any character, just like with Wolf, I mean not with Wolf, just like with Jigglypuff and Wario, any character that relies on jumping, we're like, yes, perfect, we can nair him. But because they have such high speed when in the air, it makes it a lot more trickier to hit him. So I feel like Yoshi might be -2. I'm going to go with -2 with Yoshi. That might be a bit strange, thinking of like, wait, would you rather verse Kazuya than Yoshi? To be honest, I'll rather verse a Kazuya than Yoshi, yes. Would you rather verse, what's another character that's like in -1? Would you rather verse a Pac-Man than Yoshi? Yeah, Pac-Man is not bullshit. I feel like Yoshi, even though Yoshi's not too bullshit, I feel like versing the top level Yoshi might be... Like, if you had to verse Yoshidora or T, I would probably rather verse T than Yoshidora. So yeah, that's probably what I'm going off of. Young Link. I unfortunately haven't versed J-Dizzle too much, but this is easily a -2. Could almost be -3. Young Link's just... He's data, speed. He's exactly like freaking... Aegis. He's just got so much frame data to him, but he's got projectiles. So it's like, okay, I need to somehow get close to him. But you can't, because when you do get close to him, he just throws shit at you, and you're just like, oh my god, this is an absolute nightmare. What do I do? This is so unfair. So yeah, Young Link has better hitboxes than Ganon. One-on-one. Like, if he throws out a Nair and I throw... Look, if my... Because the problem is, Ganondorf's hitbox is all in Nair 2, but Nair 2 is so slow. So if you're trying to hit people with only Nair 1, you lose because the hitbox is much worse. But if you're going in to hit people with only Nair 2, that's frame 17, which is really slow. So that's where Ganondorf's game plan really crumbles. It's like, oh, but you got Nair 2. No, Nair 2 is frame 17. It's really, really slow, so not really. So yeah, Young Link just absolute menace. Zelda, I'm going to say -1. I'm pretty sure I used to put Zelda as even, but I don't think that anymore. I think Zelda just has too much. Like, even though Rickles beats one of the best Zeldas in the world, I verse a Zelda all the time, and when we're playing serious, it's even. But when that person's mucking around, I muck around and I get bodied because, like, you can't muck around with Ganon like you can with Zelda because, like, just spamming neutral B and spot dodge and spam F smash into playing Wi-Fi Zelda, just going, yep, I'm only playing Wi-Fi Zelda now, and then you just end up just like, oh my god, what the hell? If you think about it, Nair 2 is about as slow as our up smash with the jump squat. Exactly. That's actually a very good point. And you're giving up kill option. You're giving up kill option, like a kill move, and disjoint. So there you go. So yeah, Zelda, I used to be a strong believer that it was even, but now I say -1 just because it's a lot easier to do stuff with Zelda than it is with Ganondorf. Ganondorf has to work a lot harder and a lot smarter. Alright, ZSS. ZSS is probably -2. Oh, shit, no. I want the flow to keep going. No! Oh my god. Please. There we go. Okay. Zero Suit. There's a lot of ZSSs that I verse online. There's actually a fair few of them. So there's one that just runs away. There. I'm not interacting with you. Even if I go to time, I don't give a shit. Okay? So, that sort of playstyle is not the worst thing to deal with when it comes to the ZSS. Simply because they're actively running away. They're just actively running away, getting out of there. So, you just got to be very, very disciplined against that. The problem with when they play that way is they end up being more predictable. It's like, oh, they're cornered. They're probably going to flip kick out of the corner. So you cover flip kick. They flip kick into your nair. Like, that sort of thing. So if someone's strictly trying to run away from you with Zero Suit, you can read their flip kicks a lot better than usual. Where if you're versing one that's sort of playing at the Byleth mid-range game, where it's like they're doing Zair and they're focusing on like their tilt game and they're doing like neutral B and they're not actively running to the other side of the stage. So if they're just like, that's when ZSS becomes really a big problem, because if she's just sitting at mid-range the whole time and not actively running away, because that's where the problem is. That's where the difference is. If they're actively running away, they're purposely cornering themselves so that to get out of the corner, they end up being more predictable. But ones who are staying at mid-range game, they're so much harder because they can flip kick away or maybe even flip kick over your head, or you may not even see the flip kick coming because they're mid-range. They don't have to flip kick over you. They still got ground to backtrack to. So yeah, ZSS, essentially, if she gets the lead and then she's running away, then yeah, that method probably works a bit better than doing it when it's even. But overall, yeah, ZSS is just too fast. She jumps too high. Her Zair's too annoying. Off stage can be quite annoying as well. Trying to read every flip kick can just be quite tedious, very annoying. So yeah. And that will actually do it, everyone. Huh? We actually got through it in under 2.5 hours. Alright, cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. And I will see you guys next week for... I'll do a Ganondorf tier list to continue celebrating my 10k subs. Alright, bye.